call came at 3:17 a.m. By 3:18 a.m., Sharon Osbourne's world had ended forever. 3 weeks later, sitting in their empty Buckinghamshire home, where Ozzy's presence still lingered in every corner, the woman who had built rock's greatest empire spoke words that would shatter hearts worldwide. "I lost everything when Ozzy died. Not just my husband, not just my business partner. I lost my entire world, my reason for being, my identity. I don't know who Sharon Osbourne is without Ozzy Osbourne." July 22, 2025. The Prince of Darkness suffered an acute myocardial infarction that took him from Sharon in minutes. After 43 years of marriage, 43 years of building dreams together, 43 years of being two halves of one extraordinary whole, Sharon Osbourne was suddenly, devastatingly, completely alone. What she revealed in her first Raw interview since that night exposes a grief so profound it redefines what we think we know about love, loss, and survival itself. "People keep telling me I'm strong, that I'll get through this," Sharon whispered, tears streaming down her face. "But they don't understand. When you lose your soulmate, you don't just grieve, you cease to exist in any meaningful way." The woman staring back from the mirror was a stranger. For 43 years, Sharon Osbourne had been half of an unstoppable force. Every decision, every plan, every dream had been shared. Now faced with the impossible task of existing as just Sharon, not Sharon and Ozzy, she was discovering something terrifying. She had no idea who that person was. "I look in the mirror and I don't recognize the person staring back at me," she revealed from the same room where Ozzy spent his final weeks. The cruel details of single life. "I don't know how to make coffee for one person. For 43 years, I made coffee for two. I set the table for two, planned meals for two, thought in terms of we and us and our. Now I have to learn I and me and mine, and I honestly don't know how." The business of death. Sharon described the brutal practical realities, changing joint bank accounts to individual ones, receiving mail addressed to both of them, explaining to strangers that her husband is dead. "Yesterday, I called to cancel his gym membership. The woman asked if he wanted to freeze the account instead." Sharon broke down completely. "I had to say the words, 'he's dead' to a stranger, and it felt like killing him all over again." If Sharon's heartbreaking honesty is moving you, please show your support with a like. Her pain deserves to be witnessed and understood. Standing in a grocery store for 20 minutes, unable to choose bread. This wasn't about grocery shopping. This was about the complete collapse of a decision-making system that had operated flawlessly for 4 decades. "For 43 years, I bought the bread Ozzy liked. Now I'm supposed to buy bread I like, but I don't even remember what that is. I've spent so long being half of a couple that I don't know my own preferences anymore." Sharon had spent decades building one of entertainment's most successful careers, but it was always in service of someone else's dream. Now, with no one to manage, no career to build, no agenda to advance, she faced a terrifying question. Who was Sharon Osbourne when she wasn't taking care of Ozzy? "I spent 43 years living for someone else, working for someone else's success, building someone else's legacy. I was successful and powerful and respected, but it was all borrowed glory. Now I have to figure out who I am when I'm not taking care of him, and I'm terrified the answer is nobody." The confessions that torment her at 3 a.m. Sharon revealed the crushing weight of caregivers' guilt, those normal human moments of exhaustion that now felt like betrayals of their love. "There were times during his illness when I felt trapped, when I wished I could just go out for dinner with friends without worrying about his medication schedule. I feel so guilty about those moments now. I would give anything to have one more day of feeling trapped by his needs." The accumulated regrets, every argument they'd ever had, every time she was impatient, every instance when work took precedence over spending time together. 4 decades of normal human imperfection now felt like unforgivable failures. "I keep thinking about all the times I was busy when he wanted to talk, all the moments I was stressed about business when he just wanted my attention." You think you have forever to make up for those little failures of love, but then forever ends. Grief isn't just emotional, it's physical warfare. Sharon's body was literally breaking down from loss. Weight disappearing because food tastes like ash. Insomnia because dreams of Ozzy make waking feel like losing him again. Panic attacks when reality hits unexpectedly. Chest pain so severe it feels like being crushed. People say heartbreak is just a metaphor, but I can tell you that losing someone you love literally breaks your heart. My chest feels like it's being crushed by an invisible weight. My whole body aches like I've been beaten up. The medication dilemma. Doctors recommended antidepressants, but Sharon refused, believing that numbing her pain would dishonor Ozzy's memory. This pain is all I have left of him. If I take medication and stop hurting so much, it feels like I'm choosing to let go of our connection. The pain is proof that what we had was real. The forgetting is worse than the remembering. Sharon described the psychological torture of brief moments when her brain forgets Ozzy is gone. Reaching for the phone to call him, cooking his favorite meal, hearing his song and turning to share the moment, only to crash back into devastating reality. For just a second, I'll think everything is normal, that he's just in another room. Then reality crashes back in, and it's like losing him all over again. I die a little bit every time I remember he's gone. The studio visits. Every day, Sharon sits in Ozzy's chair in his studio, trying to feel connected through the space where he spent his final creative hours. But instead of comfort, she finds only silence where his voice used to be. I can still smell his cologne, still see the indent in his chair, but the silence is deafening. This room used to be filled with his voice, his music, his presence. Now it's just a shrine to someone who's never coming back. I understand now why people die of broken hearts. Sharon's most frightening admission. She's been questioning whether life is worth living without Ozzy. While emphasizing she would never hurt herself because of her children, she described struggling to find reasons to continue existing. I'm not suicidal, but when the person who gave your life meaning is gone, you have to find new reasons to keep breathing. I'm still looking for those reasons. Survivor's guilt. Why did she get to live when Ozzy, the talent, the genius, had to die? He was the one who mattered. I was just the person who helped him navigate business. The world needs artists who create beauty and meaning. The world doesn't need another business manager. It should have been me. I'm like a ghost haunting my own life. Sharon revealed how she'd become a social outcast. Friends didn't know whether to mention Ozzy or pretend he never existed, creating uncomfortable tension in every interaction. Couple friends feel awkward because I'm a reminder that their partnerships could end in devastating loss. Single friends don't understand the grief of losing a life partner. I make everyone uncomfortable with my sadness. The business meetings. Professional relationships became minefields of social awkwardness. I can see people calculating whether they should acknowledge my loss or pretend everything is normal. They're afraid mentioning Ozzy will make me cry, but pretending he never existed feels worse. What's the point of having everything when you can't share it with the person who helped you earn it? The financial security that should provide comfort had become another source of pain. All that money, all that success, meaningless without Ozzy to share it. I have enough money to buy anything I want, but the only thing I want is something money can't buy. I want my husband back. All the wealth in the world can't give me the one thing that would make life worth living again. The stolen future. Trips they'd never take. Grandchildren's milestones he'd never see. Dreams that died with him. We had so many plans. We were going to travel more, write a book about our love story, watch our grandchildren grow up. All of those futures died with him. In her darkest hour, tiny sparks of light. Despite overwhelming grief, Sharon found rare moments of peace. Letters from fans about how Ozzy's music saved their lives, memories of him laughing, brief moments of gratitude instead of devastation. Sometimes I'll remember him laughing at something ridiculous, or how he used to hold my hand watching TV. For just a moment, I feel grateful instead of devastated. Those moments remind me that love doesn't die just because the person does. Keeping him close. Sharon maintains Ozzy's routines. His coffee mug in its place, his favorite foods in the fridge, his side of the bedroom untouched. People tell me I need to pack up his things and move on, but having his belongings exactly where he left them makes it feel like he might come back. I know it's not healthy, but it's the only thing that makes me feel less crazy. Learning to live without the person who made life worth living. Sharon has no timeline for healing, no plan for moving forward, no vision for her future without Ozzy by her side. People keep asking what's next, what my plans are, how I'm going to rebuild. The truth is, I have no idea. I'm taking it one breath at a time. Some days I succeed at staying alive, and that's the only victory I can claim. Professional recognition. Mental health experts have praised Sharon's transparency, noting that her honesty helps normalize the devastating emotions of losing a life partner. Mrs. Osbourne's description is heartbreaking but important, explained Dr. Rebecca Martinez, a grief counselor. Too often people are expected to move on, but losing a life partner can literally feel like dying yourself. Her honesty helps others understand their feelings are valid. Some loves are so profound that losing them feels like losing yourself. 3 weeks after losing everything that gave her life meaning, Sharon Osbourne faces the most impossible challenge anyone can face: learning to live after losing their reason for living. Her journey through this devastating loss will likely take years. There's no guarantee she'll ever fully recover from losing everything that made her who she was. But in her brutal honesty, in her willingness to share her darkest moments, Sharon provides something invaluable to others facing similar devastating losses: the knowledge that they're not alone in their pain. Final message. The love Sharon and Ozzy shared was so complete, so intertwined, that his death didn't just take away her husband, it took away herself. Her courage in revealing this truth reminds us of something we often forget: to cherish the people who make our lives meaningful while we still have the chance to love them. Some endings aren't about closure or moving on. Sometimes they're about learning to carry an impossible loss with grace, one breath at a time. Sharon's devastating honesty about losing everything helps others understand they're not alone in their deepest grief. If her words have moved you, please share them. And remember, love the people who matter while you still can.